Hi, my name is Alicia Armenta. It is 10/9/2017, early in the morning. Please excuse the background. I'm doing this in my sister's room because there are 4 people in this house and it can get pretty crazy, so I have to adjust as needed. Today we're going to be talking about Paul, my skeletal model, and we're going to get started. So, here's Paul. We're going to start with the anterior skull. Okay. So we're going to start with... Okay, so this is the sphenoid bone right back here, and it goes through here in the orbit. Sphenoid bone. Then we have the zygomatic bone, which is this guy. Then we have the ethmoid bone, which is right there, right in there. Then the lacrimal bone, which is this guy next to the ethmoid bone. Then we've got the frontal bone, which is this right here, right in front, which is the forehead. Then we have the nasal bone, which is this right there. And then the vomer bone, which is right there. Then we have the maxilla, which is this. Then we have the mandible, which is the lower jaw. Okay, then we're going to go to the posterior skull. Okay, so this is the posterior skull. And we're going to start with we can start with the mandible, which is this guy. And then we have the temporal bone, which is right over here. Then we have the occipital, which is this guy. And then we have the parietal bones. Okay. And then we're going to go to the lateral skull, which is this side. And then we're going to label the occipital bone, which is back here. Then we're going to do the zygomatic, which is right in there. Then the lacrimal. Then the sphenoid. Then the ethmoid. Or, I'm sorry, this is the zygomatic. The ethmoid's in there. I always get those two confused. Then we have the maxilla, which is this guy. Then the mandible. And then, of course, the nasal bone, which is that guy. And then we have the frontal bone right up here. And then the temporal bone. And then the parietal bone. So that is the posterior skull. Or no, that is the lateral skull. I'm trying to remember all of them. There's a big list. Okay, now we're going to go to the inferior skull, which is, I believe, the inside of the skull. So we're just going to open him up. I just taped him shut. Come on, buddy. There we go. Sorry, Paul. Okay, so now we have the cranial floor. This one's going to be kind of hard to see, so I'll try my best. Okay, so we have the ethmoid bone, which is this guy. Then we have the frontal bone. Then the sphenoid bone, which is that wing shape right there. And we have the temporal bone. Then we have the occipital bone. Then we have the parietal bones at the sides. Okay, So now we're going to go to the vertebral column, which is my favorite. I don't know why, but it is. Okay, so this is C1. That is known as the atlas. And then C2, this is known as the axis. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is known as the cervical spine. Then we're going to go down to the thoracic spine, which is T1 through T12. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's the T12. I've had a fusion from the T9 to the T12. So I know that area very well. And then we're going to go to the lumbar spine. There we go, Paul. This is the lumbar spine. The lumbar spine goes to L1 to L5. So we're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then we have the sacrum, which is S1 through S5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have the cox. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's right here. That's known as the tailbone. So that is the end of the vertebral spine. Now we're going to go to the thoracic cage, which is the rib cage. And then, so we have rib 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are known as true ribs. 8, 9, 10 are known as false ribs. And then 11, 12 are floating ribs. Then we have the manubrium of the sternum. Then we have the body of the sternum. So that is the thoracic rib cage. Now we're going to go to the appendicular skeleton of the pectoral girdle and upper limbs. Woohoo! So we're going to go to the clavicle. Then we have the scapula, which is the shoulder blade. Then we have the humerus bone. Then we have the radius and the ulna. Then the hand and wrist. That one is a bit tricky because it's not very clear on this model, but we'll try our best. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the metacarpals. So the metacarpals are these guys, and these are the phalanges. This is the sesamoid bone, right in the thumb. It might help to do it this way. Okay. So then we have trapezium, which is this guy. Then the trapezoid, which is right next to it, right in there. Then we have the scaphoid bone. I've broken that right there. Then we have the cuboid bone, which I think is right in there. Oh no, not the cuboid, I'm sorry, the capitate. That's right, I started with the C. Right in there. Then we have the hamate, which is, I think it's right in there. Then we have the pisiform. Then the lunate. Then the triquetrum, I think, which is this big guy. I think that's all the bones of the wrist. I hope so. And then we've got the pelvic girdle and the lower limb. So we're going to go down here. His lower part. So we have the ilium, pubic bone, ischium, Then we have the femur, patella, tib, and fibula. Tibia, fibula, fibula. Okay. Then we're going to go to the last bones, which are the ankle and the foot. Okay. So we're going to go here. Oh goodness, this is going to be difficult. Let's see. Okay. So right here, we have the calcaneus. Oh yeah, the cuboid is in the foot. That's right, the cuboid bone. Then next to it, we have the lateral cuneiform. And then next to that, we have the medial cuneiform. And then the navicular. I believe that's here. Or no. Yes. Navicular. Oh, I'm getting a hand cramp. Navicular is there. Okay. And then this guy, I believe, is the talus. And then we have the intermediate cuneiform, which is right in there. I might have said that. Then we have the metatarsals and the phalanges. I believe that is all the bones of the foot. And did I cover the medial cuneiform? I think I did. And that is the appendicular skeleton.